Number 1, importance of fish nutrition. The importance of fish nutrition is too critical because feed typically represent approximately 50% of the variable production cost of uh, nutrition has advanced dramatically in recent years with the development of new balanced commercial diet that promotes optimal fish growth and health. Number 2, importance of feeds in aquaculture. The importance of feeds in aquaculture is to contain all the essential nutrients need to keep them healthy and growing and to supply the energy that they need for movement and all the other activities in which they engage and the building blocks for growth. Number 3 is why do aquapedes need to be environment friendly? In what way? To, to minimizing population rate, the growth of the fish or aquatic animals is directly proportional to the good water quality. The advanced aquafeed helps in reducing uneaten feeds and excretion of ammonia and phosphorus to water and hence help in maintaining the quality of the water. Feed is the biggest source of nutrients loading to the environment in the fish production. The impact of aquaculture feeds in the aquatic environment can be minimized by feeding better, more environmentally friendly diets and by sound farm management. Number 4 is explain the major consideration in formulation of a feed for sustainable aquaculture. The two most important factors to consider in formulating in a feed for any aquaculture species for improved production are nutrients requirements and feeding behavior of the fish or shrimp. Feed formulating is the process of combining different feeds ingredients in proportion necessary to provide the fish with proper amount of nutrients needed at a particular stage of production at a reasonable cost. Number 5. Explain the sustainable approaches to aquaculture. Sustainable aquaculture can be defined as an aquaculture practice which focuses on environmental, economical, and social sustainability to improve capacity, building and utilize land effectively for the aquaculture sector. Aquaculture practice should be eco-friendly feed formulation for sustainable aquaculture. Aquaculture should aim to increasing aquaculture system performance and profitability. Number 6 is why are amino acids called the building blocks of proteins? Because the amino acids are the building blocks of the protein. They work as the bricks of building. The amino acids are joined to form a long chains of acid by amino and carboxyl and yield water. Because amino acid is a primary protein. Amino acid side chain is critical to protein structure because the side chain can bond with one another to hold the length of protein in a certain shape or conformation. Number 7. What are the 10 essential amino acids? It is arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine. Number 8. Explain the classification of protein in terms of form, solubility, and physical properties. The form and solubility of protein can be divided into two categories. Fibrous, which tend to be insoluble in water, and globular, which are more soluble in water. The physical properties of protein, propensity for aggregation is sequence dependent. Therefore, point mutation, deletion, and expansion can significantly influence the aggregation propensity of a protein or a peptide. Number 9. Importance of amino acid profiles in fish nutrition. The free amino acids released from protein by the action of digestive enzymes are absorbed in the intestinal tract and used by various cells to build and repair worn out tissue. Excess amino acids are used as energy source or converted to fat and can be determined the relative composition of amino acid in a protein. Number 10. Define the term lipids. Name the two major functions of lipid. Lipids are a biomolecule that are insoluble in water but soluble in nonpolar solvent. Lipid and their constituent fatty acid are along with protein the major organic constituent of fish, and they play major roles as sources of metabolic energy for growth, including reproduction, and movement, including the migration. Number 11. What are the important types of lipid? Briefly define each component. The important type of lipid is a fatty acid. Fatty acid is a saturated and unsaturated. Next is glycerides. Glycerides is a glycerols containing lipids. Next is non-glycerides lipid. It is a sphingolipids and steroids waxes. Next is complex lipids. It is a lipoproteins glycolipids. Question number 12. Why does the type of lipid required for warm water fish differ from cold water fish? Because cold water fish have a much higher level of fat in them than warm water fish. The fat levels allow the cold water fish to stay warm in cold water. Although fat does not seem like a good thing to eat, the fat found in the most cold water fish is a healthy type of fats. Number 13. Which among the fish species studied requires more N6 rather than the N3 fatty acid? It is salmon and sardines. Number 14. Differentiate between saturated versus unsaturated and unsaturated and polyunsaturated versus high unsaturated fatty acid. Saturated fatty acids lack double bonds between the individual carbon atoms, while the unsaturated fatty acid there is at least one double bond in the fatty acid chain. Saturated fats tend to be solid at room temperature and from animal sources, while unsaturated fats are usually liquid and from plant sources. The fatty acid in monounsaturated fats have single bonds and only one double bonds, whereas fatty acid in polyunsaturated fats have single bonds and more than one double bonds. This is the main difference between monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Number 15. What are the functions of carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are stored as a glycogen that can be mobilized to satisfy energy demands. In addition to being a source of energy, soluble carbon dioxide in fish feed also gives fillet integrity and stability and makes them less dense. Number 16. Distinguish between lipid and carbohydrates. Between carbohydrates and lipid, it is the carbohydrates are immediate energy sources in living organism, while lipid act as long-term of energy source and tend to be utilized at a slower rate. Carbohydrates and lipid are important nutrients in living organism. Number 17. Give three classification of carbohydrates and give an example of each. First one is monosaccharides. Glucose is an example of monosaccharides. These saccharides, the example nito is sucrose and lactose. Dito naman sa polysaccharides, example nito yung mga starches, glycogen, and cellulose. Number 18. What carbohydrates type is in the principal component of the exoskeleton of insect and crustacean? It is a chitin. Number 19. Name the important binder of aquaculture feeds obtained from seaweeds. Are alginates, agar, and carrageenan. Are extract from seaweeds, the giant kelp, Graciliarius, and Capapicus, respectively. These are important binder in the fish and crustacean diets. Number 20. If lipids give twice as much energy as carbohydrates, why then should carbohydrates be included in the diet? Because one triglycerides molecule yields 3 fatty acid molecules with as much as 16 or more carbon in each one. Fat molecules yields more energy than carbohydrates and they're an important source of energy for a human body. Number 21. Name some good carbohydrate sources in fish diet. It is starch, flour, alginates, agar, carrageenan, and gargum. Number 22. Explain briefly the energy balance equation. Energy balance is simply the relationship between your energy input and your energy output. The complete energy is equation look like this. Energy input, calories in. Energy output, calories out. It is an energy balance. Number 23. What is ATP? What is its function? Adenosine triphosphate, it is ATP. ATP is energy carrying molecules found in the cells of all living things. ATP captures chemical energy obtained from the breakdown of food molecules and releases it to fuel other cellular processes. Number 24. Give 3 examples of energy requiring biological processes. The 3 example of energy biological process is ATP, photosynthesis, cellular respiration. All organisms need energy. Life depends on the transfer of energy. What are the factors that influence the energy requirements of aquatic animals? However, factors number 25 question yun. However, factors now I know to influence the energy requirements of fish and shrimp include water temperature, metabolic rate, and consequently maintenance energy requirements increasing with temperature, animal size, metabolic rate, and consequently maintenance energy requirements. Number 26. Define the term vitamin. What is the general function of vitamin? Vitamins are a group of substances that are needed for normal cells function, growth, and development. Numbers 27. Distinguish between lipid-soluble and water-soluble vitamins. Name the vitamins that Water-soluble vitamins are quickly absorbed with the excess being released. Water-soluble vitamins include vitamin C and vitamin B. But soluble vitamins are slower to dissolve and the excess is stored. The vitamin A, D, and K are fat-soluble. Question number 28. What vitamin play an important role in calcium and phosphorus metabolism? The vitamin D endocrine system is an important one in the regulation of calcium and phosphorus metabolism, but not solely responsible for calcium and phosphorus transfer reactions occurring during the reproduction. Number 29. What are the three groups of minerals? Give example of each group. The three groups of minerals are also known as native elements. They are partitioned into three families: metal, semi-metal, and non-metal. The example of metal is iron, and semi-metal is mercury telluride, and the example of non-metal is hydrogen. Number 30. What are the general function of mineral? Mineral play a key role in the maintenance of osmotic pressure and to regulate the exchange of water and solutes with the animal's body. Minerals serve as a structure constituent of soft tissue. Number 31. What correlation exists between anatomy of the digestive tract of the feeding habit of fishes? There is a strongest correlation between the anatomical structure of the digestive tract and the feeding habit of the fish. Herbivorous fish that depends on fibrous foods such as phytoplankton and microphytes differ automatically and behaviorally from carnivorous fish that consume meat and other more digestible feeds. Number 32. What are the four types of feeding behavior of fish in their natural habitat? Feeding habitat of fish. Fish can be grouped into four main categories according to the type of foods which they preferred under natural conditions. These are herbivorous, detritus feeders, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Number 33. Describe the steps and enzymes involved in protein digestion. First one is protein digestion. Protein digestion is a stomach enzyme that serves to digestion protein found in digested food. Gastric cells secrete pepsin as an inactive zymogen called pepsinogen. Next is leafy digestion. Leafy digestion, they include gastric leafage, coliphase, defense, pancreatic leafage related protein, carboxyl, ester hydrolase or bile salt stimulated leafage, and pancreatic phospholipids. Next is yung pangatlo, carbohydrates digestion in fishes and crustaceans. Carbohydrates digestion in fishes and crustaceans, the enzymes which break down the carbohydrates in the gut of fishes are carbohydrases. They are amylase, lactase, saccharase, and cellulase. Number 34, discuss the factor that may affect dissemination and absorption of fishes. It is considered that feeding frequency and food amount are the key factor that influence fish digestion and nutrients absorption. Thank you.